Migration. It starts with an impulse that grows with an instinct that sends thousands of waterfowl soaring on the greatest journey of their lives. What compels these birds to suddenly, simultaneously take flight by the thousands, pumping their wings and stretching their necks toward habitat hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles away? It's an arduous adventure. In migration, success is survival, and habitat is critical. In every flyway, ducks and geese rely on a network of wetlands to sustain them through migration. Like rest stops on an interstate, these staging areas give waterfowl a place to rest and refuel along the way. Just as waterfowl naturally flock to key habitats, DU supporters naturally conserve them. Across the continent, members and volunteers of Ducks Unlimited are ensuring that North America's waterfowl find healthy habitat at every stop on their migration.
We are very fortunate to have landowners who are passionate about wildlife habitat, about wetlands, and about waterfowl.
For the past year and a half, we've been working with Ducks Unlimited to put a conservation easement and some wetland restoration on our property. They're very easy to work with, they're good to work with.
By putting the conservation easement on this property, I can rest that it will always be in this perpetual state, and we're proud to do our little part to make one refueling stop for them on their way back.
And the birds are responding in force. In some regions, like the Great Lakes, Missouri Confluence, or Pacific Northwest, it's not unusual to see clouds of ducks and geese filling the skies and stirring the wetlands with staggering numbers of waterfowl. One of the most famous and critical migration areas in North America lies just south of the Platte River in Nebraska. It's a region known as the Rainwater Basin, and in the spring and fall months it draws millions of migrating birds to feed and rest on rich, shallow wetlands.
Every section of ground has birds on it, and it's just amazing to see.
It's March Madness. It's amazing, and it definitely lets you know that spring is sprung and the show's about to begin.
A spectacle on the global scale. I mean, there's no place else in the world, I think, that has this number of birds.
In the Rainwater Basin, it's not uncommon to find 1 million snow geese on one wetland or 50,000 mallards on one wetland. And until you've seen that, you haven't seen anything.
Visitors from all over the world travel to Nebraska just to witness this spectacular migration. But for residents of the Rainwater Basin, these wetlands and waterfowl are more than a spectacle. They're a point of pride, a unique part of their natural history and identity.
I do what I do for the birds because it's in me. It's for the same reason as why do the birds migrate, is they're meant to do that. And I, deep down inside, feel that that is what I was meant to do.
Everybody in Nebraska is pretty gung-ho on the mission. It's a bunch of do-gooders, DU-gooders.
My mother tells the story when I was a kid. I don't remember it, but apparently we went to the zoo and I spent the whole day watching the ducks. So I guess I caught the disease at an early age, and I've had it ever since, and God willing, I'll have it for the rest of my life.
Wetland conservation is about more than habitat. It's preserving our heritage and promoting community, which is why everyone gets involved, from DU volunteers and major donors to corporate sponsors and local business partners.
The relationship the Fish and Wildlife Service in the Rainwater Basin enjoys with Ducks Unlimited is phenomenal. It's working collectively that we have made quite a bit of difference out here in the Rainwater Basin.
The Nebraska Game and Parks Commission has worked very closely with Ducks Unlimited, and we're very appreciative of their efforts. They have done some things that we are not able to do, just made it so much easier for us to be able to work with someone like that.
Ducks Unlimited has been a great partner with Platte River Basins by developing some wetlands for us and putting in water control structures and really trying to maximize the effectiveness of this area for waterfowl.
The passion for people in this landscape is amazing. If things were easy, everybody'd want to work here, but things aren't easy, and it's the dedicated people that make conservation happen out here in this landscape. We wouldn't be where we're at without Ducks Unlimited.
Across the continent, Ducks Unlimited's family continues to grow, thanks to the people, partners, businesses, and communities who care about conservation.
Other kinds of wildlife, birds, animals, everything else, all kind of go hand in hand with Ducks Unlimited's mission.
You know, people say, well, why would you want to tie your land up? But I would say, why would you not want to tie your land up? Our robins are starting to move back in now, and it's how do you put a price on that?
If you have a passion for birds, you better have a passion for habitat. So we need organizations like Ducks Unlimited to help us preserve some of these things that otherwise my kids or their kids would never have a chance to see.
Each year it seems like the number of waterfowl using this refuge continues to grow, and it wouldn't have been possible without DU's help to do this. And so it's nice to see the fruits of our labors.
It's not just for the immediate enjoyment, it's for down the road a piece as well.
Together, we're conserving our habitat, preserving our heritage, and ensuring a future with wetlands for tomorrow.